How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to talk about Big Trouble in Little China, Volume 3. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, Volume 3. This is once again from Boom Studios. This is Jack Burton in the Hell of No Return. So yeah, this is the third volume in the comic book series that follows the John Carpenter Big Trouble in Little China series. Now, I've reviewed the first two on my channel already, and it's going to be really hard for me to talk about the third volume without spoiling the first two. So, I'm going to say right now, spoilers for the movie and the first two volumes. I'll try to keep it to a minimal, but I mean, I'll obviously have to talk about especially the end of Volume 2 to get into this one. But anyway, there's the front cover right there. You got Jack Burton, and you know from the title, The Hell of No Return, and he's in this big fist with all these, you know, little rings, 2 rings on each section of the fingers there. But then you flip it over to the back, you get this cool artwork of Jack throwing a knife, and Lo Pan's spooky face in the background, which, I'm going to talk about this more later, but that's actually the cover for Volume 4, printed on the back of Volume 3. I don't particularly know why this artwork was used in both cases. You think it would just be either a Volume 4 thing or a Volume 3 thing, but, well, it's the same picture. I don't know why, but it is. Anyway, but yeah, anyway, I talked about spoilers for the end of Volume 2, right there. Jack is dead. So yeah, this is Jack Burton running around in hell. I flip it open, same motif as the previous ones. The credit section, because of course, credit where credit is due, although this is labeled menu, because it's a Chinese takeout theme. Big Trouble in Little China, The Continuing Adventures of Jack Burton and the Pork Chop Express. Story by John Carpenter and Eric Powell. Eric Powell is the writer of the book. Brian Churilla is the artist. Colors by Lisa Moore for Chapter 1. And Gonzalo Datre for 2 through 4. Letters by Ed Dukeshire and cover by Eric Powell. Anyway, so let's just flip right in. For those of you who remember the end of Volume 2, it ended with Jack Burton dying. He died because that was one of the things needed to make Lo Pan mortal, which made Egg able to kill him, and he was about to go to a really nice heaven and see his first dead wife, and he was going to be happy, but at the end, Lo Pan's ghost appeared and dragged him into the Hell of No Return. And, man, it's a big double-page spread. I don't know if you can see it, but a really cool, you know, big skull mountains and monsters, and look at that thing. That thing's fun. But anyway, you see that, you know, he would have gone to a good heaven, but Lo Pan's ghost dragged him to hell, and now they're both here. And this is a kind of a fun thing as they shift with the pairing up of characters in this book. And they're not together the whole time, but you do get a bunch of Jack and Lo Pan, and they really do actually play off each other. They hate each other, and they're always fighting, and they're both stuck in the same bad situation, you know, rivals stuck in hell together, and they'll, you know, be put in the same situations, and they'll fight, and it's actually really, really fun. It's a clever pairing. I wouldn't thought had worked so well, but it's actually a really good part of the story. Yeah, here's the two of them tied up, and a bunch of monsters are gonna get them. But yeah, really, really fun. But anyway, the other story, because starting in the last one, they did stories in 2 sections, you know. So the other part of the story, you get back on Earth, you get Wang there, and Mao Yin, and they're really sad that Jack has died, and they're grieving, but then Egg is like, well, there's no time to grieve, we got to go, we got to work, and of course, you know, Jack being in hell is going to make it harder for them to bring him back, but that's what they ultimately want to do, and they have to go meet one of Egg's friends, and then find a friend that he knows, and talk to a bunch of people to arrange Jack to be able to come back from hell. But of course, you know, it's going to be a lot more complicated, and they're going to have to go through the secret parts of Chinatown that not too many people know about, and meet some crazy characters that, I mean, I'd love to show scenes from there, but again, this is not a spoiler review, and that is kind of bad with this volume. I really don't want to spoil anything, but Egg and Wang going to the secret parts of Chinatown, they meet some really cool characters. Jack and Lo Pan in hell meet some really creative characters, really creative landscapes, and really creative like monster designs, as well as getting in some really funny situations, but I really don't want to spoil any of that for you. I will show you a few moments of Jack in hell, though. You want to see, let me find a good page with it. Yeah. Jack Burton gets his hell armor there, and he's got that funny hat with all these different pieces of armor that he's got, and I really do love the hell armor he has. And then he meets one of his friends that I want to show. Yeah, he talks to this guard, and it's this little green guy with armor, and he ends up tagging along through a bit of the adventure, and he's a fun character. And that's one thing is Jack Burton, you know, you talk about usually he's in Chinatown, and he's a little out of his depths. You know, he's the one that doesn't know as much of what's going on. And then he took Wang in Volume 2 on the trucker route, and then they made it the joke where Jack actually knew more of what was going on, and Wang was kind of the outsider in Volume 2. Well, Volume 3, they strike a cool middle ground where Jack's in hell, and he doesn't know a lot about the metaphysical or spiritual aspects of hell, and he has to ask around and figure stuff out. But he is used to the rough and tumble lifestyle, so there is actually elements of hell that Jack does pretty well in, and it's this up and down that makes it a really interesting volume, and the highs and lows he gets going on this adventure, and the highs and lows he gets fighting Lo Pan, it's really fun. I liked Volume 1 and 2. Volume 1, Volume 2 really good. Volume 3 is definitely the best so far. It takes them on a weird and crazy creative adventure, and there's so many fun things in there that I really don't want to spoil. But yes, fun little elements, and I was like, oh, that's cool, and so much creativity in the volume where you get to see different things happening, different creatures. This was really, really good and really fun. It does end on a big cliffhanger, but then again, all the volumes kind of do. However, you know how I showed you I had Volume 4 pulled aside? Now, I haven't read Volume 4 yet, but it is a little troubling. So they ended on a cliffhanger, but look at the names up at the top. It was Carpenter, Powell, Churilla, Moore, and Durate. And now it's no Carpenter, and it begins with Fred Van Lent and Joe Esma, but then Durate is still there. So, but yeah, you open up Volume 4, and they're like the continuing adventures of Jack Burton, and then they crossed out Pork Chop Express, and then it's a new writer. Carpenter's not involved anymore, a new artist, And I haven't read this yet, but I mean, I was really digging the first 3 volumes. Sorry, my dog wants attention. I don't know if you can hear him. I'll wrap this up really quick. But I was really digging the first 3 volumes, and now there's a new creative team on number 4. I'm really worried, but I'll read it, and I'll see, and I'll tell you what's up. I try to keep the Big Trouble in Little China ones going pretty quickly because I'm really invested. I'm actually reading through this pretty quick. So volume 4, I'll get to that pretty soon. I'm a little worried that they don't have the same creative team because, like I said, I was really digging this. But yeah, I'll definitely be back for volume 4 very, very soon, and I hope it keeps a bit of momentum. But yeah, sad that Carpenter doesn't have any input in the rest. But anyway, volume 4 soon. To everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You are really helping the channel out. At the bottom, I'll put in a playlist. This will be the playlist for all my comic book reviews, and you can find all the Big Trouble in Little China stuff in that playlist if you want to see my reviews of the first 2. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys again very, very soon, and have a good day.